How do you live in God's allness and goodness is a question I've often asked myself. Why? Because you learn from experience in the practice of Christian Science that the more aware you are of God's allness and God's goodness, the more of God's allness and goodness you experience every day. But that's not always easy to do. When you walk down the highway of life, you might see a lot of misery and suffering and pain and disease around you. It's like, where is God's allness and goodness in all of this? So today I came up with a metaphor. Here I am in the middle of the White Sands National Park in New Mexico. It's a beautiful place to be. Sand dunes as far as you can see. But they're unique sand dunes. They're white sand dunes. Not coral, not brown, not pink. They are white sand dunes because of the gypsum inside of the soil. And it's beautiful. Just you see white sand for miles and miles and miles. And I thought, this is a hint of what it means to know the allness and goodness of God. You need to get yourself into a state of mind where that's all you see is the allness and goodness of God. Just like when I'm in the middle of this park, that's all I see is what is in this park to see, which is white sands as far as you can see. Well, the allness and goodness of God is found in the mind of God. That's where it is. And we all have spiritual sense to go there, to connect with the mind of God and see what God sees, hear what God hears, know what God knows. When we're in that state of mind, which is the mind of Christ, like the apostle said, put on the mind of Christ, we behold the allness and goodness of God. And it's a wonderful place to be. It's where healing happens. Because when you're conscious of the allness and goodness of God, you are not conscious of conflict, discord, fear, suffering, even pain and disease. All those elements of the human carnal mind dissolve and disappear in a consciousness of God's allness and goodness. So you can have that experience as well. Stay out of the dungeon of fear. Stay out of the prison cell of material sense. Stay out of the straitjacket of human mind reasoning. That's not where you find God's allness and goodness. Get thought up there into the mind of God and see what God sees. Hear what God hears. Know what God knows. Live in the allness and goodness of God and experience the blessings that will come your way.